Hello everyone and welcome back to Baby Got Booth, the show where we interview actors from all over, voice actors from all over. Intro's hard. I'll keep going anyway. And I am your host, Emilia Rez, and today I'm with a guest, Abigail Blythe. Please introduce yourself, Abigail.
Hi, I'm Abigail Blythe, as you said. I'm a working voice actor and singer, and yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show.
No problem.
So we can just get straight on in it, get banter in it later. So, first question is, how did you gain an interest in voice acting? Because I saw on your About Me page that you started it your senior year of college.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've been acting and singing like pretty much my whole life. Like I discovered it in like elementary school, I guess. And I've done like mostly like theater and choir and a little bit of film in high school. A little bit of film in college. But I discovered voice acting my senior year at my university where I was studying music and doing like plays at the university theater. And I discovered like voice acting through this online voice acting competition. I won't say the name, but I was like, I didn't even know that voice acting was an option for acting. I saw that and I was like, oh, like that's really cool. Like this is really neat. I look back at those audio files and completely cringe because they are so bad. But I'm glad that I have like really bad files that I can look back on. You know, that's good. But yeah, I basically discovered it and I was like doing a lot of research on it and everything was like falling into place. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And it's perfect timing too, because I'm about to graduate and I had no idea what I was going to do. And so I was like, this is amazing. And I really like this. And I'm going to start researching and taking classes. And I'm just going to move to Dallas when I graduate. And then I did that and we're doing it.
So you just went right for it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I'm kind of just like a spontaneous, like without a plan kind of person. Just like, yeah, I'll worry about that tomorrow, or I'll just do it today and we'll figure it out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We'll figure it out.
Oh, I'm jealous. Like I want to be like that, but in the back of my mind, I'm such a planner.
Oh, really?
It's like when I try to go for something just off the jump, I'm like, no, you gotta think about it. You gotta think it through. You gotta think it through. I'm like, no, I don't wanna. I wanna be manic pixie. Come on.
I think there's pros and cons to both. And I think that planning is not a bad idea. If that makes you more comfortable, then totally that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's true. So you said you started out in like theater and like kind of more live action stuff.
Yeah. I've been doing plays and musicals pretty much as far back as I can remember, and choir and opera and yeah, everything like live action.
So a little bit of everything.
Yeah, just everything on the stage. That was me, and I haven't done like anything on the stage like since COVID, really, and I'm like really, really wanting to. I'm starting a haunted house next week, and that's gonna be my closest thing to like live action acting that I've done in a while, and I'm so excited.
That sounds like fun.
I love working haunts. They're so much fun.
You like the like haunted houses and like spook nights and stuff?
Yeah, I did. I worked at a couple haunted houses before. I worked at one as an actor in like high school and in college. But I hadn't done it in a couple of years, and so I'm really, really excited to get back into it. It's really fun, and I love horror stuff. I like collect horror movies, and I love like scary things.
I am so 50-50 on horror. Like, I'll admit I'm a giant baby when it comes to like haunted houses and like when the theme park goes like all spooky for Halloween, I'll run away from like the guy with a half chainsaw because I don't know. I would love to do it because scaring people is very fun, but getting scared is not that fun for me.
Yeah, like Six Flags where they do like the horror stuff. I have a friend, Lisette, she works at Six Flags, and yeah, they're doing all that kind of horror stuff right now. It looks so cool. I'd love to go, but I won't have any nights free probably.
I remember I was in like Universal Studios, or no, it's Busch Gardens, and they did their like spooky Halloween night. And I was like, I don't want to go through this. I'm being traumatized. I want to leave. But I was at the very end of the park. So I literally had to go through every section of the Halloween, all that just to get out. And it was, oh God, one of the worst nights of my life.
No! Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear it was one of the worst nights of your life. That would be so fun for me.
Again, different strokes. I'm sure the people scaring me had a lot of fun, and I can respect that at least, because I know I would have fun scaring other people.
I'm sure they did have a lot of fun, but I hope that they like realized that you were having a great time and maybe backed off a little, or maybe they didn't read the signs.
I was running too fast.
Oh, there you go.
They couldn't see my face.
You were too fast for them. Gotta go fast.
Scary Sonic speed.
Yeah, scary Sonic speed.
So that jump from theater to voice acting, what do you know? Can you tell what specifically grabbed you onto voice acting to the point to where you kind of made that transition into making that more your interest, at least for today?
Yeah. I like to look at things like very logically. So like logically speaking, like theater didn't seem like a great avenue to go towards because it's kind of not like it's a dying art, but it's very like exclusive and very competitive, and like they're only like the top like 10% are kind of like working actors in the theater scene, and same for like Broadway and things like that. And so I knew that it was going to be a really tough life if I tried to pursue that as like a career. And I was like, I'm probably not going to have a good time, like a good life, if I was just pursuing that as a career. And then I was also looking at film, but at the time, like my moral standards were different because of various like cultural reasons. And I didn't want to do like any type of cursing or nudity or anything like that. And I was like, well, I'm a woman. I'm not going to be able to get my start in film if I can't do either of those things. So
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it's just kind of how it is in the industry, like getting stuff, and especially because I was like very interested in doing like horror films in general, like horror film acting, and like there's like so much like female nudity in that scene. Which is unfortunate, and I disagree with it, and hopefully it's getting better. Also, I was like, I don't want to be moving to Los Angeles and be one of like those people pursuing film for all of their life and just super unhappy. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. And so I was like, I know that I was like born to be an actor. Like, this is my craft. I've been doing this my whole life, like acting and singing, performing. This is what I'm meant to do. And then when I found voice acting, it just seemed like that was like the perfect thing, and that it was like I found it for a reason at that time. And like I didn't have to worry about my appearance. I could wear whatever I wanted. I'd been watching anime and playing video games forever and like really loved that stuff. And I was like, it just makes sense. Like I also like grew up watching a bunch of like commercials and like singing jingles and like making up my own jingles. And so I was like, this is literally just perfect. Like I kind of wish I had found it sooner, but here we are. So, yeah, that's like what grabbed my attention. Like pretty much everything about it. And the scene is so much cooler than like the theater or the film scene. I think the voiceover scene, the industry is just a lot more chill and not as cutthroat and toxic. So, I mean, we have our issues, but it's a lot different from theater and film.
Yeah, with theater, it's like you're either in Hamilton or some like beat off Broadway plays never gonna see the light of day and pays like almost nothing. And then there's film, which is a little bit more widespread because, of course, there is the LA scene, but there's also like film in like Georgia and Dallas and
Atlanta,
everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It still really applies to like your appearance, because a lot of voice actors I've listened to, like when they talk about their interest in the industry, they're like, yeah, I tried. A lot of them start out in theater and tried it for more live action roles, but they find that depending on their build, they can be like too tall or like too short, or like you said, not comfortable with some stuff in the industry, and they didn't know what to do. But then they found voice acting to where anyone can kind of be anything. Everyone has that kind of same-ish chance. Of course, you're right, there are issues with that, but it seems like it's the most kind of inclusive blind casting available to people like you who love acting and all that.
Yeah, I think you're so right. Like, there's so much variety, and like you get to go after everything, and you're not like typecast based on your looks alone, which I think is very freeing as an actor. It's super cool.
You started that, and then you said you immediately moved to Dallas, which is that kind of the LA space of the voice acting world?
I wouldn't call it the LA space of the acting world, because like Dallas is more for, especially since the merge of like Crunchyroll and Funimation, I think it's like a more ADR focused scene for dubbing. There's like some other studios around here for like radio and like radio broadcasts and stuff like that. So I'd say like if you wanted to get into anime, like Dallas is pretty much where you should go. But if you're wanting to do like animation or like even some like AAA games, which a lot of the video game industry can be done remotely now, I believe, as long as you're broadcast quality, but unless it's mocap. But animation is pretty much LA, and then like anime is Dallas. But I think Dallas is such a great area to go to, like after you leave your hometown or graduate college or something. Like the move that you make before you go to LA. Like I've seen so many voice actors doing that, where they move to Dallas, and then after they get to a certain point in their voiceover career, they move to LA. So it's kind of like what everyone has been, not everyone, but a lot of people have been doing as far as like the voiceover trek.
I hope everyone's taking notes. This is some gold right here. This is an educational show right now, okay?
No! I know nothing.
What? You don't talk for 5 minutes straight when you know nothing. That's what I do. That's why I have a show.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know anything. That's why I have you guys on.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad I can help in any way, because I mean, it's all free. You know, there you go.
I did hear like Funimation is like in Dallas, and that's where, of course, a lot of the bigger voice actors like the Laura Baileys get their start in like Funimation in the old days of like old dubs and stuff. So that's still kind of like a good starting off point, instead of, because of course LA is also like a big space for even voice acting as well. But you say it's like a good stopgap to maybe make your way if you want to really try it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can always go straight for LA, especially want to do like if you want to start out in like more animation. But I personally wouldn't recommend that to people, because I feel like, I mean, I've just visited LA. I've never lived there before, but I feel like it's like a 50-50. Either it completely like motivates you for your career and like shoots you, or you get really burnt out and broke, and then you are like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I think that people should really think carefully before they move to LA, because it's just an interesting scene. It's very expensive. So you have to make sure that you're financially ready to move to LA before you do it. But I mean, that's kind of obvious. But yeah.
Every theater and film kid is convinced they're going to go to LA as soon as they graduate, and I was one of them. I was
kind of like that too. So, I mean, like that was what I said too. But I think we're really lucky as voice actors to have Dallas as kind of a pit stop first. So
I had no money. I had bad social anxiety. I was like, you know what? And then I'm like, maybe Georgia. And then I'm like, how about I start right here in my house right now and maybe start getting comfortable, which voice acting does, because you can start out in your closet if you want to, correct?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That's where I do most of my voiceover stuff, in my closet.
Yeah, I mean, people have made like their whole careers remotely, so I don't see why not. You can do it from anywhere.
And the perfect transition, what is your setup like, and what was it like getting it all together?
So I'm like the most like technically challenged person ever. Like I'm a very like creative person, so anything like technical just makes me very overwhelmed, and like my brain just is like does not compute. But I've been working on it. So like right now I have like a sound treated walk-in closet. I've got like really thick blankets up. I've got some foam dispersed throughout, some like pillows, just some treatment. If you're asking like equipment wise, I've got like a Warm Audio 47 Junior mic and like the 2i2 Scarlett Focusrite interface. I've been using like FL Studio for the past 2 years, but I'm like slowly transitioning to Reaper and learning that, and I actually really like it. It's like, I feel like it's very easy to use, especially with like the tutorials available out there that are for free for like voiceover. So I need to spend more time doing that. It just takes like a lot of like energy for me to learn technical things. But I've been pretty much like recording out of a closet my entire voiceover career of 2 years. I like, actually my first booth, really funny, it was like a really small like room divider that someone had given me from like their wedding or something. It was like some lace wooden room divider that I had set up in the corner of a room to like block off the corner of a room, and I like draped a blanket over it and like tacked one part of it to the wall, and that was like my first little voiceover booth, and I bet it sounded awful. I'm sure if I listen to the recordings I can hear how terrible it sounded, but I feel like right now I have like a pretty okay sound. I mean, it could definitely be a lot better, but it's not terrible, so
Keep taking notes, people. This is gold right here. I mean, we all gotta start somewhere, and we all start in our. No, I don't think we all even start in our closets really, because we don't know what sound treatment is. We're just like, you speak into a mic, and then you become a voice actor, right?
Yeah, honestly, whenever people ask me, I'm like, just buy a USB mic, get on your bed, plug it into your laptop, and like drape like a really big blanket over you, and like you've already got like a better sound than like most voice actors starting out. And honestly, that's how like some working voice actors that are like professional and have booked a lot of things, that's how they like record stuff on the go when they're on vacation and stuff like that. And I've even heard of people like booking commercials and recording commercials on vacation with that kind of setup. So better than you'd think. Like a good thick blanket thrown over you like on a bed with some like cushions around you is pretty good. It's a decent sound.
I agree with everything but the USB mic. I'm gonna be an elitist and a hater. You need coaxial. That's the sound you need. We all start out with the Blue Yeti and everything. I might have a grudge because my Blue Yeti died after a year, and that's $100 I just lost. And then like, you know what? I'm gonna spend the equivalent to buy a good mic and a soundboard. And here we are today. My half jank audio.
That's pretty good. I personally have never had a USB mic before, so I'm not exactly sure what they sound like. I was like the privilege of like my partner at the time. They were like a musician as was I, but they did like music producing on the side, so they already had like a kind of like beginner microphone and interface and stuff like that. So that's what I had used.
So you're the professional music stuff. You didn't have a Snowball or a Blue Yeti.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't call it professional, but it was, like, definitely, like, not, like, I mean, USB or whatever. It was just, like, a pretty, like, decent, I guess, beginner mic with, like, an XLR cable, and I still use the same Focusrite, so. Yep.
Yeah, you don't have no technical knowledge yet. You're saying words I don't know the meaning of.
Oh, which word did you not know the meaning of?
Half of what you said. I just like, this is a good mic. The YouTube people said so I'm gonna get this mic.
Oh, well, do you know what an XLR cable is?
Oh yeah, I know. Like,
okay.
I know the basics. I know the basic setup. It's just when it comes to like what mics
specifics.
Yeah, like
okay,
what
gotcha.
mics
Yeah.
or brands are better than the others. It's like, I'm gonna look up on YouTube. This person said it's okay to have, and it sounds okay, so I'm gonna do that. Cause for me, I'm not a voice actor. If anything, I'm more of a voice director. So, like, clear sound for me isn't really an issue as long as I can, like, record my videos with okay sound that's not too distracting. But I do agree, like, it's not, the quality of sound is important, but it's not the end-all, be-all of, like, setting an audition, like you said.
Right, yeah. I think, like, depending on the industry, like, auditions are becoming more competitive as far as sound quality goes. But I do agree that the audition material and like your talent and your performance is a lot more important than how good your sound is.
So with that competition piece, is that because it's kind of a growing interest, you think?
Yeah, I think it's because I wish it wasn't this way, but I think it goes kind of hand in hand with remote becoming more accessible, working remotely, which I think is a very good thing. But it also means that like since COVID times, voice actors have learned some audio engineering things. Some things, we're not audio engineers, and we're not built to be audio engineers. But I think that people who have better studios and know how to edit their audio better definitely have a one-up like in auditions, especially with like indie studios for like indie video games and things like that, where the game developer might choose someone because they don't want to spend the time like editing the audio of someone else's audio that doesn't sound as good as said person, or it just makes it sound better. Like some people can edit their audio to just make their voice sound better, like more crisp. Like I'm forgetting words right now, but
all right.
They can like edit it to make it sound better. All words, yeah.
Basically, you got the gist of it.
EQ, there it is.
There you go, we got it.
EQ.
Put our voice acting brain cells together, we can think of something.
It's the end of the day.
I know.
We're going downhill.
It's an hour later for me. I know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. I'm just kind of throwing them at you because that's what the show is all about. I'm kind of just
no problem.
Testing you on your knowledge.
My improbability.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see.
So, yeah, I did notice that a lot of people I follow who are voice actors did get their start in the remote work because a lot of at least I noticed in the past few years, a lot of the acting was over, I don't know what software to use, Zoom or whatever to use to record. And I'm kind of with you towards like, I think it's great that it provides a lot more people who aren't just in Dallas or in LA to at least get that chance. And with the sound piece, I think sound is very important, but I don't think if you have bad sound, you're like automatically disqualified from voice acting, period, because there are so many opportunities, not just in anime or in even professional work. There are lots of smaller projects online for voice comics or cartoons or YouTube videos or all of that. I think it's a very varied industry that anyone can kind of get into as long as they kind of have the know-how and the ability.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure.
How's your laptop doing?
Let's check.
It's been about 30 minutes.
We're on 11%, so probably like a good 20 minutes.
Do you want to change now? Just so, because pretty much we're on the next question, so it's a good division right here.
Yeah, do you want me to plug it in for like 15 minutes and see what we get?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. And you can take like a water break or a pee break or anything like that you need. Take care of yourself.
I got water right here.
Okay, we'll intervene in about 15. Sounds
ahead.
perfect. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go.
I guess it would help if I turned my interface on, you know?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know how technology works. You're the expert here.
I'm the expert? Oh no.
You're the expert right here.
Oh.
I'm just a host. I have you on to supply the knowledge. All right, so intermission over. So we can just go right back to. So you say like Dallas is kind of epicenter of like you say video game, anime dubbing, correct?
Yeah, like anime dubbing specifically. I'm not really sure about. I don't think there's like a really big video game scene over here. Most of that's done in LA or remotely, but anime specifically, yes.
Because I was gonna ask, what's your approach to, I'll say, non-narrative or creative work like commercials or audiobooks? Because you see a lot of people bring out the more creative aspect, like the anime dubbing and the video game and movies and all that. But I don't hear a lot of people talk about the more commercial aspect. Because of course you hear commercials every day, and of course there's usually someone speaking over it. So I'd like to get, I'd like us to get more information on that if you have any on it.
Yeah, for sure. So for audiobooks, I don't do audiobooks. Like, I just don't really have an interest in them, and you can't really pursue every avenue of the market because that wouldn't be a very good idea. Be kind of like a shotgun method. Like, it's better to like have specific routes that you're more interested in. It just seems like a lot of effort that I'm not willing to put in.
Fair enough.
So I don't know anything about audiobooks really. Commercials. So I have booked some, I would quote unquote booked, because it's not like I auditioned for them. It was through my clients that I had already had through like mostly e-learning or toy promos or like e-learning stuff in general. Either to ask for commercial rights for a project and purchase them, or like the other day I had a commercial session from like these people in Manchester that I've been working with for like over a year on this like e-learning project of theirs. And they were finally putting out like a broadcast commercial for one of their products. Like they had made a toy for the animation that I had been working on, like the children's animation e-learning thing. So most of the like commercial work that I have booked has been through clients that I've been working with for like a little while.
Okay. I mean, that's a connection you have within the industry, and connections in the network. It's always useful to book more work.
Yeah, most commercial work you can't really find unless like there's like two ways you can do it. Either through pay-to-play sites, which I have no experience with, or through an agent, which I don't think I'm ready to pursue yet. So, yeah, it's hard to like find commercial auditions not through those unless you like work hard through like cold calling or like networking or things like that.
Mm-hmm. What makes you say you're not ready for an agent yet?
Well, I would like to skip the middleman agencies and apply to like one of the bigger like LA agencies whenever I'm ready. For like the bigger like destination agencies like Atlas and others. I think that I would probably be ready to submit to one of like the smaller ones or like some of the Dallas based ones, but I'm doing fine booking work on my own right now. And I think that having like an agent would kind of overcomplicate things. So right now I'm just focusing on booking my own work and building up my resume so that I can hopefully like at the beginning of next year submit to like the bigger agencies that I want to be at for a long time and show them like, hey, like I've booked this work on my own, like I am profitable, like I am capable of getting work by myself, and now would like some of your help to book extra work and make you money and me money. And so it just makes me better marketable as like a talent for them if I can show that. Yeah.
No, I thought you'd never planned ahead.
Okay, so for like career stuff, it's different.
I mean, the stuff you kind of more should plan ahead for.
Yeah. Stuff that was like, well, I do a lot of research on things, but I do research like very quickly, or like I'll spend a lot of time on research in like a short amount of time. So it's not like I didn't do any research on Dallas before I moved here. I kind of like did it for like a semester or like a couple of months, like maybe like 2 to 3 months. Like I was like doing a lot of heavy research, and then I was like, okay, sounds good, let's go.
All right, so you don't overthink. You're kind of like, I want to do something. I'm gonna do what I need to research about it, and if I think it's for me, I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I don't like not planning for things because I'm like a perfectionist in that way, but I don't get anxiety about like making decisions. So like since I decided I wanted to go to Dallas, I was like, okay, I'm going to do research on this, and I want to make sure that I'm well informed in all of these things. But it's not like I was ever like anxious or scared about like moving to Dallas. I was just like, sounds good, let's go.
I envy you, and I think I said before, I envy you with that. I plan. I love planning. Acting on a plan, you know what? I think I'm just gonna stick to planning, and then I think it's just procrastination at that point. I think a lot of people have that because, like you said, you want to be able to say, I have this good resume to show someone who's gonna help me. I can work myself up to where I want to be. I don't really feel like I need a middle person. I've seen some people who say the opposite. Not that it's incorrect, but just that they feel like it's harder for them to acquire that talent network without really connecting with someone who can help them in that. And I think both ways can be legitimate depending on the person, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone has different ways that they connect into the industry, and everyone has different journeys, lengthwise, everything. It's like different for every person. So, for sure.
Yeah, it's so, again, voice acting is just so varied in what you can get into, where you can start.
Yeah, it's so vast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just how you can apply yourself, which I think having all that freedom makes it easier than just, yeah, I got to book roles for a movie, so I got to go to LA or Georgia where the movie people are. Or I can go on, say, castingcall.com, go for this little short YouTube video that doesn't even pay, but I just want that experience and that insight into the career aspect, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that film is very nuanced as well. I think that there's a lot of different like genres and platforms and like different casting sites and like um of the research that I did when I was wanting to be a film actor and things like that. It seems like it's not as like vast and obviously not as easily accessible as voiceover is. But I don't think it's just one avenue either.
Which kind of more what you fall in love with, because some people love acting and love the film, love being in the camera, and some people maybe not prefer behind the booth, but just have that, again, that freedom of, I don't need to care what I look like. I can be in my pajamas while I'm voicing this badass anime heroine or hero or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. For me, it's like on stage or behind the mic. I'm like, that's where I'm happy. Film is just another breed entirely. I don't think I've had enough experience with film to form an opinion on whether I like the medium or not as an actor. But I'm also not super interested in finding out. I think I can go without it.
Yeah, it's not, I will say, like an inherent passion. It's an interest, but there's a between an interest and a passion. You clearly do have a passion for voice acting for its work and community, I find.
Yeah, yeah, I like it here.
You love it.
For the most part.
We all love it here. That's why I started this. So, a little bit back to commercial work. So, yeah, you get it through a network, and would you say it's, because I've heard commercial work from other voice actors who say it's good to get into, just it's a more stable form of work rather than anime and video games, and I don't know if you had to take on that or not.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah, for sure. Commercial work is where the bread and butter is. Like, for 30 minutes of like character work, you could get paid from like 20 to like maybe like $150. For like 30 minutes of commercial work, you can usually get paid like a minimum of
Wow.
$1,000. So like, yeah, it's definitely, and I just love commercial. Like I genuinely have a passion for commercial work because it's like it's your own voice, like it's you, and like you're helping a company like sell a product. Like it's fun and it's like dynamic, and I don't know, it's just so like there's like a different type of satisfaction that you get after a commercial session rather than like a character session. It's just so different. It's like a different kind of feeling, and it's just like so warm and fuzzy. Like I really love it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it put that way, because I think, at least for me, the initial thing is like I'm working for like the man as a creative. I just want to voice my pretty anime boys or this badass video game character, but now I'm selling sponges. But you're right, because especially now, I think commercials have a lot of creativity within them. Just because you're giving a product doesn't mean you can't play a character. Like, there are tons of mascots, and yeah, it pays well. That's why you see J.K. Simmons doing car insurance, because he's a big time actor, but I bet he makes a lot of money doing those commercials.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it definitely takes a lot of skill to do commercial work. Like, it takes the same amount of skill that it does to do character work. Like there's different like nuances and how you can hit certain words and like the general feel. Like it's definitely like also a skill, which is really fun. I really like it. Yeah.
Your passion is getting to me. You're
Yeah,
waking me up.
it's so fun. I love it. Plus, like, money, bro. Like, we're all creatives. Like, you need money.
We
So,
need that
like,
bread.
yeah, I mean, like, nobody's gonna deny it. Like, money makes the world go around,
Uh-huh.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it is. But, like, you should, like, and that's why getting commercial work is so important, especially if you're wanting to get a part of an agency, because it's like, that is what they are most concerned about is and like what is most important to them. Like, yeah, character work is fun, but at the end of the day, like commercial work pays their bills and it pays your bills.
Mm-hmm.
um So getting commercial classes, a commercial reel, all this stuff is just going to help you become a better actor, because then you can use that money to like take character classes and like other things but also like take more commercial classes, because commercial work is fun too. But like it can kind of like fuel your like other parts of your creative career that might not make you as much money.
Yeah, as artists, we often have to make that balance between being, I'll say, financially responsible and following our passions. It'd be great if we could just follow our passions and make $1 billion like some people are lucky enough to do. But of course, there's always that grind to do that. Like, I'm a photographer by trade, but I work for a photography company. I'll make money doing this. I love doing this, and I would hope to make something on it one day. But again, I had to make that balance. And it kind of helps because you realize that you're doing this for the passion, for the fun. And even when you're down, being like, oh, I'm broke, I got nothing, you still have your creativity and the people who are in the same boat as you to kind of understand and work together on. Because a lot of projects are just broke people. Just, I want to make a thing. You got some money? I got a little bit, and we can just do it right now.
Yeah, for sure. I always tell people that it's good to like have more stable streams of income so that you can be happier doing your creative things, because nobody's happy when they don't have money. Because then you're just stressed.
Oh, yes. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, but if you're not paying your bills, you're definitely not going to be happy. So.
And you're right. More money means you can do more voice acting stuff. You can afford the better mic and the sound treatment and the podcasting software that never mind, TMI.
That's not TMI. You can get into that.
I mean, it's not. I'm interviewing you. Thank you.
I'm just like usually a default listener, and like I'm not used to people asking me questions. So this is like, not that it's uncomfortable for me, but it's just like I'm really not used to it, because usually a lot of people talk to me. Like I usually just like ask other people a lot of questions, and they just like talk a lot, which is how I'm most comfortable. But you're getting me out of my comfort zone. This is good.
Love to hear that. And listen, I love talking about myself more than any other person, but I gotta hold back because I invited you on. I'm not gonna talk about my stuff. If you want to ask me a question, go ahead. Then I'm allowed to gush about myself.
Okay, what kind of like podcasting software do you use, or like what were you talking about like a second ago? Like, what has your experience been as a podcaster?
Well, you are my second guest.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Who was your first guest?
She's a Aero VA called Cinnamon. First episode's on my YouTube. Plug.
Hey.
I've been thinking about doing this podcast for like about 2 years, ever since like 2020.
Yeah.
But it's just like, again, I had really bad social anxiety back then. Still kind of do, but it's a lot better now, which is why I can do this. And I was like, we're talking about our voice acting passions. Let's fucking do it. I wouldn't say I'm a voice actor. Like I said, I'm more of a voice director because of course, growing up, I love cartoons and anime and all that. And then one day you're like, hey, that guy sounds like that guy. That's weird. And then you find out that these are people. It's not Space Jam where the cartoons are real. No, people are voicing these characters.
Right, yeah.
I think that's when I took a deep dive into, oh, this guy plays this guy. This guy's really cool. And then you look them up on social media and you realize voice actors, again, some exceptions, but a lot of them are really cool people.
Yeah, they're pretty chill. Yeah. And nerds. Most people in the voice acting industry are nerds, which is cool.
I was going to say a lot of them are nerds. A lot of them have the same kind of anxieties you do. So I think that's part of the reason why it feels so inclusive, to where it feels like it's this club of people of like, we're not the quote unquote stereotypical pretty people who act in film or stuff like that. It's like we're just people in our house and we're like, I can still act and do what I want to do behind a screen. And I love talking to people. I love conversation, as you can probably tell. And I'm like, well, what if I just mix the two? What if I talk to the voice actors I respect, admire, and all that? You're on that list. And I don't know, just have a cool conversation. That's kind of my origin story.
Yeah, that's a very cool story.
Podcast origin story. You heard it first.
Origin story. We love it. Yay, I'm so happy that I heard it first.
Thank you. All right. enough about me. Enough about me.
Oh, darn. Oh, darn.
Next question. We can go tit for tat, but I don't want you on here forever. So
Right.
So I'll say next question. So you've been talking about like your plan of action for your voice acting career. Do you have any short-term or long-term goals, or like voicing a certain genre or series or character?
Yeah, I do. Like short term, I mean, like booking anime would be great. I'm working towards that on the near horizon. And like I've been auditioning more recently. Like I used to be horrible at auditioning like frequently. It's just because I had like so many other like clients that I was just like booking on my own that like it was hard to gather the energy to record for things that I wasn't getting paid for. Like it was just like harder. But now I've been like auditioning for more things and like hopefully like getting better at auditioning and like booking more like video game work specifically because I'm really passionate about like video games as well, and I'm trying to learn more about that and hopefully posting my video game demo next week. It's
Hell
in
yeah.
production.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's like towards the end of production. It's going into like, it's about to go from sound design to mixing. I wrote the script myself and I just got the art back that I commissioned for it. And so we're getting there. So video games, like long term, definitely yes. Like oh my goodness, if I was able to voice a character in the next Elder Scrolls game, I would absolutely lose my mind. Like me and my brother are such like huge Skyrim nerds, and like we used to take like 3-hour turns like growing up. And if I could like book a character for that, I would like feel so proud, like, cause he's like my younger brother. He's like 2 years younger than me, so he's like my everything, and I would just feel so proud. And then I would just be so happy. I just love Bethesda too. Just like just getting a role in a Bethesda game would be so amazing to me. I would lose it.
Listen,
nerding out a little bit.
It's cool. Listen, I'm sure Skyrim had like, if you get a role in the Elder Scrolls game, you'll be like 20 characters. I'm pretty sure Skyrim had like 5 voice actors in it.
Yeah, I did notice that.
They're all
Laura
good.
Bailey, Queen as always.
They're all good. They're all varied. If you play as long as we do, 1,000+ hours probably, then you're
yeah.
you hear everybody. You're like, Laura, you're the maid and you're this hero. I love your range.
Yeah.
I love your range, girl.
I mean, they can only do so much, and like
Exactly.
I hope that for the next game they get a larger cast, but that's like totally up to them if they want to do that. So video games, definitely. I've done a lot of e-learning, and that's super fun. Like children's animation, children's cartoons, toy promos. I really love like children's content. Plus I just love doing kids' voices, especially like boy voices and stuff like that. So any types of roles with boy voices, I'm like, let's go.
A Tara Strong role.
Yeah. Commercials, we already talked about. I would love to do commercials, and like ADR anime, of course. Like I think ADR is such a cool avenue of voiceover, and it like works your brain in like such an interesting way, and I just love it so much, and that it's like a challenge, and I really like that. It's like a very specific skill that you have to develop. So like being in like queer anime especially, I would love to do like ongoing anime like Skate the Infinity or Given, or if Seraph of the End or Yona of the Dawn ever gets another season, which they should. Yeah.
I listened to Travis Willingham do an interview, and he said when he did, I believe it was the first Full Metal Alchemist series, he said it was like voice acting boot camp in terms of how you need to really focus your brain in order to ADR, because it's not a lot of freedom. It's like you have this certain amount of mouth movements, and you gotta really get it.
Yeah. I've taken some ADR workshops, and I've had like some experience with like ADR, and it's definitely like the first time that you do it, it's kind of nerve-wracking in a sense that I was like, okay, what is going on? Especially with like the 2 screens that you're like looking back and forth between the script and the monitor of like matching the lip flaps. But depending on what kind of person you are and how your brain works, like it can like kind of click immediately, or you can just kind of like some people will try ADR and they're like, nope, can't do it. Like my brain just doesn't work with that. So I think it depends on like how you are as a person, because I think it can be really overwhelming and like anxious for some people.
A lot of us start out in fan dubs and everything, so I think there's gonna be a whole new generation of people who did ER perfectly.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so. So,
Yeah.
controversial question: do you prefer sub or dub?
So before I became a voice actor, I watched all sub.
Mm-hmm.
Now I watch pretty much all dub because it's like hitting two birds with one stone, that kind of like logical thinking way.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I get to like study performances and watch it. So I'll usually watch something in dub because I'm like, I want to just hear their performances. So I don't really have a preference, but I usually watch dub now because, like I said, the two birds with one stone thing.
I'm kind of the same way, to where, well, one, the convenience of if I can be on my phone or look away and not have and know what's happening. Yeah. I'll say that. I got one lizard brain. I can't read forever. And
Right.
two, I get a whole new list of voice actors to bring on, being like, okay, I like that guy, write them down in my note. I like that guy, I like that chick, write them down in my note. And also,
Yeah.
I like studying the performance too, because it's like there is a difference between like the Japanese and the anime, because, well, one, like Japanese, they have actual like legitimate schools and training and universities just for voice acting, because it's such a respected field over there, like that I've noticed.
Oh, definitely. There's difference in culture for sure.
And I think here it's kind of more getting that direction, because you even say that there's a lot of classes, and voice acting work has, like, there's some voice actors who are like celebrities, like I'll say Stephen Bloom, Matthew Mercer, my personal hero. People say dub is cringe. You're not inviting this podcast. Dub is awesome.
Yeah, dub is cool. Dub is cool. You shouldn't say that you're an aspiring voice actor if you trash on dub. That's just
Exactly.
counterintuitive.
You're gonna be the one non-cringe voice actor. Okay, buddy.
All right.
We're all cringe, and we embrace it. And you know what? We all love it. All right.
Yep.
The cringe is on you. So, is there like an anime series? Oh, you said the anime series you're interested in. If you could pick like an anime series in the past that you would have liked to maybe go into, what would you say? If you have an idea, I'll say.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, like I said, like I love Yona of the Dawn. If I could have voiced a character in that would be amazing. Like that's one of my favorite manga. But I'm gonna cross my fingers and like hope that like we can get another season of that, because that would be great. I also love Seraph of the End.
All right.
Stellar anime. The queer baiting is strong, but it's all right. It's all right.
Listen, if you like it, you like it.
Yeah.
It's for you.
Yeah.
So, is there a place you know to audition for anime subject matter? Because I have no idea. I don't really audition anyway, but I've always been curious on like people. I know people have agents and stuff, but for like background characters.
Yeah, like how it works and stuff.
Yeah,
like
more
that.
more minor characters.
Yeah. So, every like director at Crunchyroll kind of like has their own roster. So you can either like submit to like a Funimation email that's out there, and they can like put you up for like Walla or like some general anime auditions, or you can like network directly with some ADR directors at Crunchy and somehow get on their roster with networking and possible nepotism.
That's the industry, baby. Not all of it, but it's an aspect. All right, so we can get on to the last question. I think it's the one I've been looking forward to ask the most. You say on your website and like through your Twitter that a goal of yours, and you even said it in this interview, that a goal of yours is to help enrich and expand more LGBTQ plus projects, right?
Yeah, that would be super cool.
So I guess I can ask, where's that passion kind of come from? I agree it's very important, but what does it mean really to you?
So like as far as like what I can do to like help more like queer media like succeed and stuff, like I like most of the content that I consume is queer, and most of like I'm a really big reader, so I read a lot of queer content. So just being like a consumer of that type of media. Also like being out in the community, and like I think being one of the very few like lesbian sapphic voice actors out there, which is I mean, I wish there were like more, but it's like kind of cool. It's like we're kind of rare.
Yeah.
A lot of bi voice actors though, or bi and pan voice actors, which we love as well. We love as well.
Valid.
Yeah. So just like being out and present and attentive and ready to participate and support anything queer, pretty much. I'm always also looking for like indie queer projects to support, visual novels, video games, animation, things like that. So if I see anything like that, especially sapphic, Willowa, lesbian content, I am totally 100% supportive, and that's at the top of my list. Because there's a lot of like boy love, like gay queer content. I think it's like a little bit more popular, but I would love for more sapphic content to come out. So just like supporting what I see and just more media. I would just love, I mean, it's already queer media is becoming more and more popular, especially with the rise of BL popularity in the past like 5 years or so. So hopefully the GL train can ride that as well. But yeah, I think I answered it. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not like a huge like content creator myself. So like I am not probably the kind of person that's just gonna like create a queer project, because I'm not like a developer or anything like that. But what I can do as an actor and in the public and things like that, I will do 100%.
I mean, that's a good interplay of like the creator and the actor, because you make up each other's weaknesses, because the creator can't always act and the actor can't always create. So you lending your voice to those projects is very important to raise those projects up, because even though this is a very artistic, inclusive field, I feel that sometimes LGBTQ and even like POC content can kind of get pushed aside as more other content.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, I think it's becoming more and more like consumed by the general public. But I think that usually it was just queer and POC folk writing it for like queer POC folk. So, but now it's kind of like for everyone.
Yeah. Even in the beginning of like big voice acting, you have someone like what's his name? Voices Aquaman and Justice League, Samurai Jack. Who was Samurai Jack? I'm blanking. Oh my god.
I am not the person to ask for people's names. I'm horrible with names.
I should be that person, but I'm blanking right now. Hold on. I can't even type right now. I'm so mad at myself. Samurai.
You can always edit in the name. You can always be like, oh yeah, I remembered. It's blank.
Yo, trust me, I'm going to.
Oh, lit. Cool.
Phil Lamar, that's his name.
Phil Lamar. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, even he had to start voicing more like stereotypical white. Samurai Jack is Asian, so he broke the mold there. And I see like more again LGBT person of color voice actors coming out and getting big projects and being celebrated for such, because even though they may have gotten those roles, it was not always revealed, because they were not hiding behind, but they were behind a character, behind a microphone. And I do think it's important to kind of have that balance of bringing up more minority groups in the artistic field, any artistic field, especially in that, even if they're behind a character.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what happened. I haven't moved.
No problem.
Weird.
Well, I kind of trailed off. I don't listen to half the things I say, so.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what happened. We're still recording, so we're still
Yes,
good.
Okay. So moving on. Are there any projects you hope to work on, or maybe am currently working on, that kind of fits your passion for that kind of content?
Let's see. I don't think that I've had the privilege of working on any queer content or
Really?
queer project. Yeah, my clients are like typically like more for like children's media, so there's typically not even like any romance involved in general. But yeah, hopefully soon, on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, more and more projects like that are coming out, and more voice directors and creators are wanting people like you who are so passionate about that to really help them along that path and get them into the public eye, I guess. Help get their creations up into the public eye.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Anyway, yeah, in any way I can.
This is more of a personal question. So I notice, even especially on Twitter, you're very passionate about education and bringing the community up and forward. Is that another passion of yours, kind of being in this community, but also kind of helping others along their path as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think a lot of the times I just post my thoughts. And like I have a lot of thoughts going on at once, and I'll just have like random thoughts in my head, and sometimes it has no structure. But yeah, I would like to have a space where it's easier for people to succeed, of like anyone, anywhere. However, I'm a huge like non-gatekeeper. Like any knowledge that I've accumulated, like I would love to share with everyone. Like I think gatekeeping knowledge is silly. So yeah, like anything that I learn, I just try to like share with everybody, because I think it helps everybody succeed. And I think I think we all thrive from a more competitive atmosphere in general. So bringing up your brothers and sisters in VO or non-binaries. I think it just helps everybody. Like I'm a pretty like chill person.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually think that I've tried to change this. I think that my persona online is like kind of very different from my persona IRL in real life. Because like online, like I think I come across as like very like bubbly and like cute and like I am like very friendly, but I'm like in person I'm just like really chill. And like I don't know, like I still have that like kind of like extroverted energy, but I'm more of like an extroverted introvert now. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, so I'm trying to be like more like chill online, like the chill buddy that you can talk to sometimes that will tell you anything you want to know, pretty much.
You're on here, so that kind of proves it. I will say you're pretty chill.
Thanks. That's what I hope that like people can talk about me and be like, oh yeah, Abigail, she's chill. Like that's the like most like the greatest compliment someone could bestow upon me. Or like, oh yeah, Abigail, like I feel comfortable with them. Like I think they're a good listener. Like those three things, I'm like, that is what I want to be. So
you could be the biggest, most talented voice actor out there, but all you want to hear is, you know what? I didn't know she was chill like that. I could hang out with her. I can grab a beer with her.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yep, that's what I want to be known for, the chill voice actor.
Isn't that what we all want? We don't want to be the best. We just want to have people say we're pretty chill and hang out. I mean, that's what the VA community is all about. Just people like us hanging out and doing silly voices and hopefully making a career out of it.
Yeah, it's all about the vibes, you know?
Oh, yeah. The VA vibes.
Yeah, plus I'm just a total clown. Like, I just make memes all the time.
Oh,
like,
we're all clowns.
I don't even, yeah, it's just kind of how it is now. It's just a joke.
Yeah. I invite you on this podcast, and you're like, hey, I make memes, I'm a clown. And you think that's gonna push me away? That's all I want. All I want is clowns and memes. I want a bigger clown. I am the biggest clown out there. I need other clowns to perform with.
Hey, yeah, we love that. The more the merrier.
Oh yes, the circus is never too big.
True, it's always growing. Honk, honk.
I'm so tired. Maybe laugh
Me
so
too,
hard.
bro.
Oh, we need to wrap this up. Well, so I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Oh yeah, I really appreciate your knowledge, your passion for everything VA. You're the prime example of someone I want to talk to on this show, to give everyone information, to inspire them, make them laugh, make them cry, whatever.
That's so sweet. Yeah, I really hope that this podcast is a success for you, and I can't wait to like hear more of it and like see all your like later episodes, because I like listen to voice acting podcasts from time to time, and so
I plan to be the biggest.
Do it, man. You can do it. Shoot for the stars.
That's what I'm doing. I have a whole list of people. You're number 2. I hope you can forgive me for that.
No, I am humbled and honored to be number 2. That is way high up there. Like that's crazy.
Also intimidated by you.
No, no, I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that because I'm like, I'm literally like a nobody. Like I'm just a clown.
Oh my
like
God.
do not be intimidated by me, please.
You voice actors need to start believing in yourself. I tell my last guest this. Start believing in yourself. I can't stand when I look at a voice actor being like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the plunge and bite on my podcast. And they're like, oh my God, me? Oh yeah, of course you. What?
I 100% like believe in myself, but it's like I don't see like what kind of like what I have that's so special to say or anything like that. I don't know. I'm just like I'm just grateful to be here.
We all have something to say. We all have our passions, and you clearly have yours, and we all, especially me, appreciate that. We love passion here.
But I'm gonna have to get like your answers to those questions sometime because I'm also curious about like all of your goals and whatnots.
I'm on my phone 24/7. I have a life, but I'm also glued to my phone. Perfect balance. So anytime you have a question, hit me up.
Okay, awesome. Perfect.
So as we wind down the show, you can give your socials if you want, your Twitter, everything you want to give out. Any last final messages you want to entail?
Oh, I mean, if you want to follow me for memes and stuff, I'm like Ask for Abigail everywhere. My website, my socials, everything. I try not to be on there too much, but I fail most of the time. So.
Same.
Yeah.
I stopped trying. I gave up.
Also, if you're a reader, if you like reading books or manhwa or manga, please hit me up. I am always wanting to talk to more readers. So.
Hell yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Again. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been Baby Got Booth. See you all later. Goodbye.